welcome to today's deep dive. Um, we are so glad you're here. Let's just start by imagining a situation. You are sitting on your couch watching a movie in English.
Right, a very relaxing situation.
Exactly. You understand the story, you laugh at the jokes. Later, maybe you listen to people talking in English on a deep dive like this one, and you know exactly what they are saying.
Yeah, and that feels great. It makes you feel pretty confident.
It really does. You feel like, wow, English is pretty easy for me. But then you step outside, a real person walks up to you, they look you right in the eye, and they ask you a simple, everyday question.
Oh, I know where this is going.
Right. And suddenly your mind completely stops. You feel frozen. You know the English words, but your mouth just won't open. Nothing comes out.
Yes. It is an incredibly frustrating feeling. You just feel, well, trapped inside your own head.
Yeah.
But if you experience this, I want you to know right now that you are not alone. You are not failing.
That is so important to hear.
It really is. In fact, this freezing response is one of the most normal biological parts of learning a new language. We see this all the time. Your brain just hits an invisible wall and it shuts down for a minute.
Okay, let's unpack this, because that is our mission today. We're going to explore exactly why this brain freeze happens, step by step.
Yes, and most importantly, we're going to share a very simple trick with you today.
A trick to help you finally stop freezing, break through that invisible wall, and start speaking English naturally.
Exactly. We have some fantastic information from our sources today that explains this perfectly.
But before we can fix the problem, we really need to understand exactly what happens in your body when that freeze hits.
We do, because if we don't understand the feeling, the solutions won't make sense. We need to look closely at the experience first.
Yeah, and our sources share a very clear story that paints a picture of this. So let's imagine a student. Let's say she is standing at a busy train station in a new city.
Okay, train station.
Yeah, and she's holding a coffee, just minding her own business. Suddenly, a tourist walks up to her. The tourist smiles warmly and asks a very simple question. He says, "Excuse me, where is the train station?"
A very standard, easy question.
Right. Now, the student understands every single word of that question. The words are basic. But when she tries to answer, her body reacts like she is in actual danger.
Yes, her fight or flight response kicks in.
Exactly. Her heart starts beating very fast. Her hands might get a little sweaty. She feels this big wave of nervousness, and her mind just goes completely blank.
She can't think of anything.
Nothing. She can't even remember the word for street or the word for left. So she just smiles awkwardly, points in a random direction, and walks away feeling terrible.
It happens to the best of us.
But here's the crazy part. 5 minutes later, when she is walking down the street alone, she suddenly remembers the perfect, beautiful English answer.
Yes. That 5-minute delay is such a universal experience. I'm sure everyone listening right now is nodding their head. You know, you think of the perfect response when it is way too late.
Oh, definitely.
But this story is so important because it exposes a massive false belief. It really breaks down the biggest myth about learning English.
Right. There's a false belief that trips everyone up. So what is this big myth?
The myth is that people think their problem is a lack of vocabulary or, a lack of grammar rules.
Ah, I see.
Yeah. When that student freezes at the train station, she immediately blames her knowledge. She thinks to herself, I failed because I don't know enough words. My English is just too bad.
Right. She thinks she needs more information.
Exactly. She thinks, I need to go home, open my textbook, and memorize 2,000 more words. She truly believes the solution is collecting more facts.
But the research shows that is completely wrong. Memorizing more words will not stop the freeze.
No, it won't help at all. And to understand why, our sources use a really helpful analogy about swimming.
Oh, I love this one.
It's great. So imagine a person who wants to learn how to swim. This person goes to the library and reads 20 books about swimming.
Okay, reading about swimming.
Right. They study how to move their arms perfectly. They learn advanced breathing exercises. They memorize all the safety rules of the swimming pool. They even watch hours of videos of Olympic swimmers.
Wow, so they have a lot of information.
Exactly. But this person never actually puts on a swimsuit and gets into the water? If they never jump in, will they be a good swimmer?
Of course not.
Yeah.
I mean, if someone pushes them into the deep end, they are going to panic. They might even sink.
Right.
They have all the information in their head, but their body has zero real experience. It reminds me of trying to learn how to drive a car, but just reading the manual.
Yes, that's exactly the same thing.
You can know exactly where the steering wheel and the brakes are, but when you are suddenly driving on a busy highway in the rain, Reading a book doesn't help you at all. You just have to feel the road.
That is a beautiful way to look at it. Driving a car and speaking English work in the exact same way. You don't become a good speaker by just collecting more facts and storing them in your brain.
Right.
You become a good speaker by physically practicing the skill.
But wait, I have a genuine question about this. If we already know the basic words, and we know deep down that we need to practice speaking, why is our instinct always to go back to reading books?
That's a really good question.
Why do we run away from the actual water and hide behind our safe, dry textbooks?
Well, it is a really common trap, and the reason is deeply tied to how we grow up. We treat language like a traditional school subject, like history or math.
Oh, right, like being in a classroom.
Exactly. In school, you study a list of facts, you sit quietly, and then you take a written test. You want your knowledge to be 100% perfect before the test begins.
That makes sense. We want to be perfect first.
Yes, but a living language is completely different. Speaking is an active physical skill. It is like playing a sport. You don't become perfect before you step onto the field to play.
Right.
You become better because you play the game. You actually have to make mistakes in order for your brain to learn.
You become better because you speak. I absolutely love that. So we have established that a lack of vocabulary is not the real problem here.
No, it's not.
You, the listener, probably already know enough words to have a conversation. So if we have the words, what is actually causing the brain to crash and freeze when someone talks to us?
Well, our research points to 3 hidden reasons that trigger this reaction.
Okay, let's look at the first reason.
The first reason you freeze is because you are secretly translating everything inside your head.
Translating. Going back and forth between English and your native language. Why does this cause a freeze?
Let's look at the invisible steps happening in a learner's brain during a conversation. First, they hear the English question.
Okay, step 1.
Second, they translate that English question into their native language. Third, they think of a clever answer in their native language.
Right, still in their head.
Yes. Fourth, they try to translate that new answer back into English. And finally, step 5, they open their mouth to speak.
Oh, wow. That is a 5-step process for a single sentence.
Exactly.
That sounds exhausting. It is like running a heavy software program on an old computer. The system just uses up all its memory and completely crashes.
That's a perfect way to describe it.
No wonder people freeze. I mean, by the time you finish step 4, the other person has probably walked away. So how do we fix this computer crash? What is the solution for reason number 1?
The fix is to use incredibly simple English. You have to remove the complex translation steps. Don't try to build big, beautiful, long sentences in your head.
Just keep it simple?
Yes. Keep your answers very short. For example, if someone asks you, "Are you hungry?" Don't search your brain for a complicated answer.
Right.
Don't try to say, "Yes, I haven't eaten anything since the early hours of the morning." Just say, "Yes, a little." Short answers require less brain power, and they stop the translation process completely.
I see. Simple and short. You don't have to sound like a poet. You just have to answer the question.
Exactly.
Okay, that brings us to the second reason people freeze. If translating takes too much time, what happens when we try to speed it up? We panic. Which leads us to the fear of making mistakes. I hear this from language learners all the time. They are terrified that if they use the wrong grammar, people will laugh at them. They think they will look foolish or uneducated.
What's fascinating here is that this massive fear is based on an illusion. It is simply not true. We project our own harsh judgments onto the person listening to us.
An illusion. How so?
Well, think about native English speakers. Most native speakers do not care about your small grammar mistakes. They really don't.
They don't.
No, they aren't grading you. They only care about your message. They just want to understand what you are trying to share with them.
Wait, really? Because in school, we are constantly graded on our grammar. Every tiny mistake gets marked with a red pen. It is really hard to just turn that fear off.
Are you saying native speakers aren't judging our grammar at all?
Outside of a classroom, no, they aren't. Real-world communication is always more important than academic perfection.
It's hard to believe sometimes. I know, but think about it from your own perspective. When a traveler from another country tries to speak your native language, do you laugh at them when they use the wrong verb? Do you think they're stupid?
No, never. I mean, I'm usually just impressed that they are trying. I appreciate the effort, and I try to help them find the right words.
Exactly. You feel warm toward them. English speakers feel the exact same way when you try to speak English. They want to connect with you. They appreciate the effort you are making to speak their language.
That is incredibly comforting to hear. Okay, so we have translating, taking up too much brain space, and we have the paralyzing fear of making mistakes. The third reason we freeze is a lack of real practice.
Yes, and this connects back to what we were saying earlier. If we are scared, we avoid the one thing that actually cures the fear of physical practice.
Right.
The sources give a wonderful analogy here about riding a bicycle. Imagine you want to learn how to ride a bike. You can't learn how to balance by sitting on your couch and reading a book about physics.
Right. You can know exactly how gravity works, but it won't keep you from falling over. You just have to get on the seat.
Exactly. You get on the bike, you push the pedals, you lose your balance, and you fall down. You scrape your knee, then you get back up and you try again.
It's a physical process.
Yes, that physical feeling of falling and correcting yourself is how your brain actually learns balance. Watching videos is nice, reading grammar books is helpful.
But they aren't enough.
Right. None of those things can replace the physical act of moving your mouth, making sounds, and speaking to another human being. The more you speak, the easier the balance becomes.
So if we put this all together, overthinking, complicated translation, and fear cause us to freeze. We try to be perfect, we get scared, and we forget to just practice.
That's the cycle.
So how do we break this cycle? How do we trick our brains into just acting instead of freezing in fear? This brings us to the core solution from our research. And here's where it gets really interesting. It's a technique called the 3-second rule.
The 3-second rule. It is a very simple, very powerful psychological tool. It is specifically designed to short-circuit that freeze response in your brain.
Let's break down exactly how it works for our listeners.
The rule is this. When someone asks you a question in English, you must give yourself a maximum of 3 seconds to start speaking.
Just 3 seconds.
Just 3 seconds. Count in your head. 1, 2, 3. You do not need to have the whole sentence planned out. You don't need to know how the sentence will end.
You just start.
Yes, you just need to open your mouth and begin making a sound before those 3 seconds are up.
It's like jumping into a freezing cold swimming pool. If you stand on the edge of the pool and stare at the water, thinking about how cold it's going to be, you will never jump.
Right, your brain will talk you out of it.
You just have to count to 3 and jump before your brain has time to get scared.
That's exactly how it works. Because if you wait longer than 3 seconds, the anxiety starts to grow. Your brain starts searching for perfect grammar.
Oh, and you start that terrible 5-step translation process.
Exactly. And then the invisible wall goes up and you freeze. The core philosophy of this rule is don't think first, speak first.
Don't think first, speak first. I love the energy of that. But I have to push back a little here. What if I do jump in the pool and I suddenly forget how to swim?
What do you mean?
What if I use the 3-second rule, I start my sentence, and right in the middle, I forget a really big, important word? Won't I just panic and freeze anyway? That sounds terrifying.
It does sound scary, but I will tell you a secret about highly fluent speakers. Fluent native speakers pause and forget words all the time. They do it every single day.
Wait, really? Even native speakers?
Absolutely. Have you ever heard someone say, what's the word I'm looking for? They forget.
Yeah, that's true.
But the difference is they don't panic, they don't freeze. If they forget a complicated word, they just find an easier word to replace it.
Ah, I see.
Let's say a fluent speaker forgets a difficult word, like exhausted. They don't stop talking, they just say, very tired. If they forget the word magnificent, they just say, really good.
Just keep it basic.
Yes. Simple English is powerful English. You do not need big, fancy academic words to be a great communicator.
So if I start my sentence using the 3-second rule and I suddenly hit a blank spot and forget a word, I just use a simpler word. I can say bad instead of terrible. I can say big instead of enormous.
Exactly. You just talk around the missing word. The goal is momentum. Keep the car moving forward. Don't slam on the brakes just because you missed one sign.
Okay, theory is wonderful, but how does this actually look in everyday life? Let's put this to the test. Let's walk through some real-world role play from our sources. We want to show you, the listener, how you can apply the 3-second rule today. Let's practice using very quick, simple answers.
I think that's a great idea. Let's imagine a few everyday situations. Remember, you can use simple English in all of them.
All right, situation 1. Imagine you are at a local coffee shop. You are standing in line, waiting for your morning coffee. The friendly person next to you looks over and says, "Is this your first time here?"
Okay.
Now, remember the rule. 3, 2, 1, jump in. What do you say?
You can just smile and say, yes, it is.
Simple. Yes, it is. You don't need to panic and try to say, yes, this is my first time visiting this particular coffee establishment in this city. Just, yes, it is.
Exactly. It answers the question perfectly. Let's try situation number 2. You are at a social event. Meeting someone new.
Okay.
Someone walks up to you, shakes your hand, and asks, "Where are you from?" 3, 2, 1.
I'm from Brazil. How about you?
Perfect. You did two very important things there. You answered their simple question, and you immediately asked a simple question back. How about you?
Right. That keeps the talk going.
Yes, this naturally keeps the conversation going. Think of a
Okay.
conversation like playing a game of catch with a tennis ball. Someone throws the ball to you, you catch it, and you gently throw it right back.
Okay. I like that image.
Yeah, you don't hold on to the ball for 5 minutes inspecting it, you just throw it back.
Throw the ball back. I like that. Let's do one more, slightly harder one. Situation 3. Imagine you are at a new job. You are sitting in a meeting. Your boss looks across the table at you and asks, "Do you have any questions so far?" 3, 2, 1.
Yes. Where can I have lunch?
That is a brilliant question. It's simple, it's natural, it is completely real life, and it takes the pressure off the work topic.
Exactly.
If we connect this to the bigger picture, we finally see what a real conversation truly is. A real conversation is not a 5-minute rehearsed speech. You do not have to stand on a stage and speak perfectly with 0 mistakes.
No, not at all.
A normal conversation is just answering a short question and then asking a short question back, catching the ball and throwing it back. The goal of language is not to impress people with your giant vocabulary. The goal is to connect with them as a fellow human being.
Connection over perfection. I think that is a beautiful way to look at language learning. It takes away so much of the heavy stress. You don't have to be a perfect grammar robot. You just have to be a friendly human. Yes. Most people just want to connect with you. They want to hear your unique voice. They aren't standing there waiting for you to fail a test. They are just waiting for you to say hello.
So, what does this all mean for you? Let's review the main lessons we have covered today. First, you have to stop translating every word in your head.
Right.
Don't run that heavy 5-step software program. Keep your thoughts in simple English. Second, start using the 3-second rule to outrun your fear.
3, 2, 1.
Exactly. When someone asks you a question, count 3, 2, 1, and just begin making a sound. Speak first, think second. Jump into the pool.
Third, always remember that native speakers just want to connect with you. They really don't care about your small grammar mistakes. And finally, rely on simple English. If you jump in and forget a big fancy word, don't freeze.
Just use a small, easy word.
Yes, just use a small, easy word to keep moving forward.
The biggest takeaway for you, our listener, is this. You already know enough English to start speaking today. Let me say that again. You already have enough words.
You really do.
Real confidence doesn't come from memorizing every single word in the dictionary. Confidence comes from bravely using the simple words you already have in your mind. Every short sentence you speak, even with a mistake, is one huge step forward. It is a step toward feeling comfortable in your own skin.
Before we finish our deep dive today, I want to leave you with one final, slightly different thought to chew on. We just talk about how native speakers appreciate your effort and how they don't care about perfect grammar.
Right.
But let's take that one step further. In psychology, there is something called the pratfall effect. It basically means that perfect people often seem cold and distant.
Interesting.
So think about this. What if the small mistakes you are so afraid of making are actually the exact things that make people like you more?
Oh, wow. That is really interesting.
Yes. Think about it in your own life. When you make a small, harmless mistake, it shows the other person that you are trying hard. It shows that you are vulnerable and honest and human.
Yeah, nobody likes a robot.
Exactly. Sometimes totally perfect, flawless language can feel a little intimidating or cold. But when you speak simply and you show your true effort, people naturally feel warmer toward you. They feel friendlier. The mistakes you are trying to hide might actually be the very bridge that connects you to other people's hearts.
That completely changes everything. Your mistakes aren't bad things to be ashamed of. They are the exact things that make you approachable, human, and friendly. So let's go all the way back to our story at the beginning. You're standing at that train station. The tourist walks up to you and asks, "Where's the train station?" Next time, you won't freeze.
No, you won't.
You won't try to be a perfect dictionary. You will just smile, count 3, 2, 1, and jump into the water. You will use your simple words, and you will do great.
You absolutely will. Just keep practicing every single day. Try to use your simple words. Throw the ball back.
Thank you so much for joining us on this deep dive today. We really hope you feel a little more confident and a little less stressed. Remember, you have the tools now. You understand the brain freeze, and you have the 3-second rule. Now you just need to step out the door and use them. We believe in you. Keep speaking, keep practicing, and we will see you next time.